Today, we are going to talk about Eric's content plan for 2023. So if you haven't checked out the last episode, it was Neil's content plan for 2023. Go ahead and check that one out. But we're going to be talking about my content plan.
So, all right, Eric, what are you planning on doing in 2023 when it comes to your content creation?
Yeah, so one is the whole concept of content remixers. And before I talk about that, so Neil mentioned his monthly reach is 10 million. I think it's probably a little more than that because our reach right now monthly is about 3.1 million or so, 3.3 million. And I'll kind of break that down a little bit, maybe towards the end of this. But going back to the content remixing piece, so what that really means is let's take this podcast as a pillar piece of content. So this podcast can basically be repurposed onto LinkedIn as a written post. It can be a carousel because carousels do really well on LinkedIn. And maybe we should do an episode on LinkedIn secrets, remix for Twitter as well, right? And there's actually there's like content remixing agencies that are popping up now. If you do a really good job there, Neil and I, we might be interested in hearing from you, but we're trying to double down, triple down on that. So it's just, trying to maximize organic reach where it's strong, like a LinkedIn. And hopefully, Elon opens up the floodgates a little more for Twitter because the organic reach has gone down a little bit. And so right now we're currently doing a LinkedIn a day, a tweet a day, an Instagram a day, a TikTok a day, podcast a day. YouTube for leveling up is about 3 times a week. For the marketing school podcast, if you haven't subbed to us on YouTube, that one's growing really quickly. We're gonna be amping up the frequency to 7 times a week. So that's a daily. Right now, we're at about 3 times a week right now. So we're trying to ramp up production across the board. That being said, we aren't trying to go like 4 Instagrams a day, 4 TikToks a day or whatever. It's just like, kind of some of these, it's like, we're probably not going to get an enterprise client from TikTok in very rare cases, right? Cornerstone pieces of content. That's something that Neil talked about in the last episode where talk about trends, statistics and things like that, right? That for us is probably like a once a quarter thing. Both Neil and I have spoken at conferences in 2022, and we'll probably continue to do that. We're actually both speaking at a conference in Dubai and maybe some other ones in 2022. But in general, I've adjusted my approach at least to focus more so not on making money from the talks, but more so using those as an opportunity to not just hang out with Neil, but get more content. And so right now, I'm just trying to figure out like, how else do we get more content? How do we maximize this trip, right? Agree with Neil, speaking more in general, and that is the high level. But keep in mind too, if you're B2B, just because Logan Paul or Mr. Beast are going like ham on a lot of things, more so Logan Paul, doesn't necessarily mean you have to. If you think you're capturing a good part of the audience and you're reaching the right people, then that's all you can ask for. Oh, final thing I'll add too is I'm obviously a big proponent of community. So the Leveling Up Founders Mastermind, that's always going to be a big piece of, hanging out with people that I enjoy hanging out with, always bringing in new people and interesting people. It's also another touch point, 2 touch points for Neil and I to hang out, in a year. So that is it for today. If you want to check out that event, by the way, levelingup.com/founders, that's for 7 to 9 figure founders. We meet twice a year.